Hey everyone, I'm finally going to review this worldwide national pack on eFootball. It's taken me long enough, there's only a few days left now, so I'll do this review now, and then if anyone's having any last minute thoughts about a few sneaky spins before it expires, hopefully I can help you to make your decisions about whether to do so. So as always, I will put timestamps in the description for each player, so if you want to hear about particular players, click on the description and there'll be a link to take you straight to them. We'll start as always with the lowest rated, that is Kılıçsoy. So, first thing to note with this card is that the pack's been out a while now. He has since joined Cagliari, so it's a Besiktas card. You can still use this card in the Turkish League Challenge. It's not an Italian League card. If he gets a card in the near future, it'll be a Cagliari one, and that will be an Italian League card. But this one is still for the Turkish League, so if you don't get to do the Turkish League Challenge, you won't be able to use this card in any League Challenges. Although you can use it with the Turkish squad, or you can use it, of course, in divisions and so on. He's got a face scan, goal poacher centre forward. Had a couple of versions of him. We've had an old Player of the Month card wins at Besiktas. That one's not as good as this card. I've also had a Showtime from some kind of Turkey pack, which was way better than this one. So this is in between the two. But yeah, got a goal poacher, pretty two-footed. Skill set is pretty good. First time shot, long range curler, soul control. He's a super sub. Nice selection skills for a goal poacher here. Let's trade him up though. Let's go over to eFootball Hub, see how good this Kılıçsoy card is. And it's decent, to be fair. He's pretty good in some of the most important areas. This is a solid looking goal poacher, to be fair. It's a good start to the pack. He's had I was going to say mixed boost from his GP card. I don't know if his GP card has changed since this card came out, but compared to his GP card, it's kind of a mixed bag. He's much better on the ball than his GP card. I'll say that much for sure. And then skill-wise, it looks like he's got a few skills that his GP doesn't. It looks like soul control, outside curl, and fighting spirit. I think those are new to this card. It certainly doesn't look like they're on his GP card. So yeah, he's got a nice section of skills. The awareness and finishing are good. The pace is good. The acceleration is fantastic, 96. Got a little bit of kicking power, reasonable balance, a little bit of physical strength. Yeah, it's a decent centre forward. This not a lot more to say. It's a handy one. It's a shame you can't use him in any other league changes unless you get to do the Turkish League Challenge. If you do, then for your Turkish League squad, this could be a fantastic addition. I think for a Turkish League squad, this is a really good centre forward. For things like divisions and so on, it's not a brilliant card, but I think it could do a job, to be fair. You could do a lot worse. There's no glaring weakness. The passing is horrible. If you are really worried about the passing, obviously you could shuffle a few points onto his passing. I don't think it's worth it personally. I don't think there's any other area where I'd really want to lose some points, but you could give him one touch passing through passing. But honestly, given the skill set he's got, I mean, outside of passing, I think the only thing he's really lacking is a little bit of aerial strength, maybe skill-wise. Maybe give him heading and aerial superiority. Is it worth it though? He's got 60 for heading. His heading's not going to be great, even if you give him the heading skill. Jump is only 6. The vertical reach 257.8 is not particularly good, so I don't think it's really worth doing much to try and make him better in the air. But I think on the deck, at least, with the pace, awareness and finishing, he's reasonable on the ball as well for a goal poacher. This isn't a bad card at all, to be fair, considering this is the lowest rated. Certainly at level 1 it's the lowest rated in the pack. This is a good start. I think it's a decent card. I think I was saying similar when I was reviewing the players in that Treasure Link pack. I was looking at Bellanova. It's a similar one where Bellanova you can't use any league challenges. I wasn't expecting him to be much cut, but he had the pace, awareness and finishing, had a few other attributes that are pretty reasonable. He looked pretty decent, and it's a similar situation, to be honest. I think with this card, even outside of league challenges, he could be a solid one. Maybe he's not a top one by any means, but I think he's strong enough where he needs to be. I think for a goal poacher, he could do a lot worse. I think it's a surprisingly tidy card, this. Right, next up we'll go to Martin Baturina. So this guy has recently moved to Como in Serie A. So this is a card you can use in the Italian League Challenge. He has a face scan. He's an orchestrator centre mid. I thought he was an attack midfielder, but apparently not. He's an orchestrator centre midfielder. Only standard form. Skill-wise, I've been saying this about a lot of cards lately. It's another orchestrator who's got loads going forward, but nothing defensively. So getting him on the ball, one touch through, weighted pass, heel trick and outside curls, and nice ones on the ball. Likewise, soul control. A couple of skill moves for you as well. No shooting skills. His finishing isn't too bad for a midfielder, but defensively is the one concern, and I'm guessing it's going to be a concern with the stats. It's certainly a concern with the lack of defensive skills, but we're going to go train him up. We'll see how much of a concern that is. Depends what position you play him in though, but we'll get over to eFootball Hub. Get more maxed out. How's he look as a centre midfielder? So he start off as a centre midfielder, and yeah, it's pretty much the same situation that I expected when we were just looking at him in game. He's going to be great when you get him on the ball, and you're going forward. Fantastic passing. On the ball, he's fairly tidy. The attack awareness and finishing aren't brilliant. And then defensively, to be fair, it could be worse. He's got a little bit of defensive ability there, but not a great deal, and there are no defensive skills, so I'm not sure how effective he's going to be deep in the midfield, and he's lacking physical strength as well. He's not a particularly big guy, so yeah, if you're going to play this guy deep at either the centre midfielder or especially the defensive midfielder, big concern over the defensive and physical strengths of this guy. It's the first time I've had a version of Baturina. The only noticeable difference I see from his GP card, well, the first difference is that his GP card seems to have right midfield semi-proficient, so it would take you less position trainers to make him fully proficient in right midfield in his GP card, but I'm not sure you're going to want to do that anyway. We will look at that in a second. We'll make him a right winger, of course. But yeah, in terms of the attributes compared to his GP card, most of these cards, it's a pretty mixed bag, really. And this one's the same. The stats they boosted the most compared to his GP card are speed, kicking power, and defending, really. So that's the change I've made. Like I say, there is a bit of defensibility there. He's at least in the 70s there, but it's going to depend on your midfield setup. If you don't have one or two midfielders alongside him or behind him doing a lot of the defensive work, I think he's going to get found out. I think he's another one of these orchestrators where you need to have other midfielders taking care of the defensive business, so that this guy gets kind of freed up to do what he's best at, which is clearly getting on the ball and picking out passes. If you did want to make him stronger defensively, I'll just see what the auto allocation says as a DMF. Yeah, I mean, even when the auto allocates a DMF and they go up to 12 in defending, he's still not good at defending. He's still physically not particularly strong. So as a DMF, I don't think any kind of DMF would be particularly helpful. You could do it though. If, like I say, if you got him alongside someone like a Vieira, Rijkaard, someone like that who's big and strong and doing all the defensive work, you could have him in a double pivot. Could do a job for you, but like I say, that deep in the midfield, the lack of physical strength, the lack of defensive ability. And you'd have to give him some defensive skills as well. But even if he did, I still don't think it'd be too great there. But down the left, he's still pretty strong. He's still got nice passing. He's okay on the ball. So at a stretch, you could do that. But I'm not overly convinced. For me personally, I would accept he's not going to be great at defending. Focus on his what he's really good at. We'll leave 4 points on defending. So he's at least 70 plus on those. I'll leave him on a 4 for aerial. But give him a bit more stamina. And then a bit better on the ball. If we've got 11 points left, I'm going to give him a bit more dexterity. He's got pretty poor attacking awareness. I've got 1 point left on the ball, get his ball control to 90. I think I'll be tempted to do that as a centre midfielder. So with less defensive responsibility, on the assumption you've got 1 or 2 defensive mids there, you're going to do the defensive work. As a centre mid orchestrator, won't be getting forward too much. It will kind of roam forward a little bit here and there. And it will depend on your kind of midfield setup, your overall kind of formation, but teeny bit of defensive ability there, but he's not going to be great defensively no matter what you do. So we've left it on just 4 points defending and physical. We focused on what he's good at, so he's nice on the ball, nice passing. We've got less points on passing than originally, but I don't think you need to go to 95 low pass. For me, that's a little bit overkill. 91, I think, is just great. We've got a bit more attack awareness on him, balance as well. He's got a little bit of pace for him, a little bit of pace on him. Stamina's just edged out to 90. I think as an attack-minded centre mid, with his kind of his role in the team to be very much to play make from deep. I think as a centre mid, and that kind of a role could be pretty effective. If you're going to move him a bit further forward as an attack midfielder, we've not got many points we can take away from defending an area, but we will take them away. I'll start with 4 in shooting, and then those last 4. I mean, we get the +2 on dribbling from 86 to 88. I think I'd do that. 1 point left, stick it on aerial. Yeah, I'll just do that. Not a massive difference from the centre midfield that I just did, to be fair. He's already fully proficient at attack midfield, though. I won't have an active playing style. I'll be covering that soon. I know I keep saying that. I've just got no time at the moment, but I will get around to finishing off those videos about inactive playing styles. But yeah, attack midfield, no active playing style. I think the attributes are decent. You know, the attack awareness I'd like to be a bit higher. Finishing is not brilliant, but otherwise on the ball with his passing looks pretty good. He's got the passing skills for sure. And he's got a little bit of pace about him, stamina, a bit of balance. I think he could be pretty decent, very useful attacking mid. So yeah, it's certainly very attack minded. He's going to be a lot better getting on the ball and getting forward than he's going to be at defending. But either as a centre midfielder or attacking mid, looks fairly tidy. You could position train him left or right mid or SS. As an SS, I don't know if I'd do much different to this. You could say passing's not quite so important. You need a bit more shooting on him. But how many points do you want to take away from elsewhere to get his shooting up? I think I'll just like nudge his shooting up by 1 there. Just nick 1 from passing. I think that's all I'd do. You could nick a bit off lower body maybes, but is it worth it? I'm not sure. So I think I'd do a similar build if you're going to use him as an SS. And again, you won't have an active playing style there either, but could do a job for you, certainly with his passing being pretty decent. That might be it. Might be an option for you if you really wanted to do that. And then to finish left and right midfield. So Right midfield first. If we started with right midfield, he's not got pinpoint crossing, as you know. So you need to give him pinpoint crossing. If you gave him pinpoint crossing on the right, because he's right-footed, I don't think I'll go much higher than that with his lofted. I think you can do it with a little bit more speed, to be honest. Although one more dexterity gets you a +2 on acceleration there. I just noticed that. We'll do that. Get to 80 acceleration and balance. And then I'll put those last 2 points back on shooting, I think. If you gave him pinpoint crossing 88 lofted, curl 76 isn't too bad. It's not brilliant. He's got a bit of curl and a little bit of kicking power as well. You could have a pretty nice cross on him from the right hand side if you really wanted to make him a right midfielder. On the ball, fairly tidy, but is he quick enough? Acceleration's fine, but speed maybe a bit iffy. So yeah, is he worth the position change? Do you really want to make this Baturina guy a right winger? I'm not sure how many people would, to be honest. But if you if you did want to use the position trains and skill trains to do that, could definitely be an option for you. Then left midfield, passing not so important. I think it's more important to try and get that shooting up a bit. Has he got long range curl? No, he's not got any shooting skills, as you say. The long range curl would be an important one from the left wing. And then I'll just do, yeah, I think I'll do that. To be fair, I think pardon me, he could be pretty tidy from left midfield. He won't be the quickest, but again, he could be worse. He's certainly got the acceleration, nice balance. He's going to be fairly tidy on the ball there. The passing is very nice for a wide midfielder. We got that finishing at least up to 76. If you gave him a long range curler, he's already got the passing ability, cutting inside into his right foot. Might not be too bad from left midfield, you know. No active playing style left or right midfield, but could do a decent job there. I think long range curl is the one skill I'd really give him, to be honest, and maybe I'll give him fighting spirit after that because he's not the strongest physically. But yeah, he's already semi-proficient left midfield, so you could make him a left mid. He could be decent there. You got a few options with this guy. I think there's a few ways you can use him, in which case he could be pretty handy. I don't think he's amazing in any particular position, but certainly as an attack-minded player from either flank or just behind the attack or in the middle, he could be pretty tidy. He could be a useful one for that, especially for the Italian League Challenge. But like I say, like I've said about a lot of orchestrators, the lack of defensive ability and skills and the lack of physical strength, I wouldn't want him too deep on the pitch because he's not going to be able to handle too much defensive responsibility. But in any kind of attack-minded role, left, right, or centre, it could well be a pretty handy card to have. So onto another midfielder and another midfielder from the Italian League next. We've got Zalewski, who is not at Inter Milan anymore. He's joined Atalanta, but he's still in the Italian League. And you can, of course, use this card in the Italian League. He's got a face scan. He's a box-to-box left midfielder. One of the less common playing styles for a wide midfielder. Only standard form again. And skill-wise, some of the most important ones, to be fair. Long range curler, through passing, pinpoint crossing. A couple of skill wins for you there. So he's got a decent selection of skills to start off with. Let's jump onto the hub. Let's train him up. So it's not the first version of Zalewski that we've had. We've actually had quite a few Zalewskis up to this point. Just getting all maxed out there. He looks all right. Doesn't look amazing to me. He looks all right. He's had one player of the week card actually. That was an attack midfield card and a whole player. That was a bit better than this one. Not a massive difference. It's not one of the better highlight cards I've had as Zalewski actually. We've had a bunch of highlight cards that are a bit better than this one. But not a massive difference though. And another one, like most or maybe even all of the cards in this pack, the difference in the attributes at level 1 compared to his GP card, very mixed. Looks like the biggest boost on any of his attributes are tight possession, finishing, kicking power, and balance. And yeah, overall he looks alright. You know, he's certainly got some pace, a bit of kicking power, nice balance, good stamina. You're going to need stamina on a box-to-box wide man. On the ball, he's okay. It's not amazing. And the passing is just about all right for a wide man. Finishing is not brilliant at 74. Attacking awareness from there, it's decent enough. Yeah, I think this is just one where he's going to be a kind of a usable player for the Italian League Challenge. Could be a handy one. I don't think it'd be too great outside of the Italian League Challenge. I'm not sure many people would see this guy get into their squad for divisions. But he could certainly do a job. In terms of the point allocation, I don't think there's a great deal of change. You could maybe nick a couple off lower body. Possibly. Do you want to lose that stamina though on a box-to-box wide midfielder? Not sure. And then you could put those points on his on-the-ball attributes. That could work nicely. You get the dribbling and tight possession to 90. You get that +2 on ball control. It goes to 88. Could do that. If you're not too bothered about the on-the-ball attributes, you could maybe nudge him up to 80 attacking awareness. I think, to be honest, I would probably plump for the former and get those on-the-ball attributes up a little bit. But his finishing's still not great, so maybe want to put a few on finishing. I don't know. I think it's just one of these cards where he's not bad. There's no massive weakness there, but there's just a bunch of attributes that would be nice to nudge a little bit higher, and just aren't quite enough points to get all of his attributes quite where you'd want them to be. So yeah, this isn't a bad one by any means. Certainly could be a handy one. But yeah, it's not too exciting a card. It's fairly two-footed though, and yeah, he's versatile. You can play him through the middle. So looking at his other positions, attacking midfield, you're going to be able to make his passing good enough. Let's see what the auto allocation says. I mean, it leaves it in exactly the same place and just beeps him up on the ball. That's a bit weird to me. Let's just take some points away from on the ball. I mean, even if he got to 12 on passing, 84 low and lofted pass, he's got through passing. He's not got one-touch pass, he could do with that, but even with through passing, it's 84 for low pass, good enough to play as an attack midfielder. Fully boosted as well. For me, absolutely not. I wouldn't want to put him there. He's not got a great deal of physical strength. The finishing's not amazing. I don't think he'd be particularly good as an attack midfielder. Other positions, I mean, left wing forward, same situation as left mid. I wouldn't use it much differently. SS, I mean, again, would I do much differently? Not really. I think I'd probably go back to the build just now, something like that. Yeah, SS, he could do a job there for sure. Would it be great there though? I'm not sure. It'd be okay, but passing's not amazing. Finish is a bit iffy. Yeah, he could be decent in all these roles. Yeah, you can't quite get all the attributes where you want them to be. Right wing for crossbam. He's a right footer. I think that, and then you take those points back from dribbling, put him on passing, but even if he's got pinpoint crossing already actually, so he's got pinpoint crossing, but is it worth the position trainers? For me, not really. He's got the pace, balance, it's not bad on the ball. Lofted 82 with pinpoint crossing, a little bit of curl, decent kicking power. I don't know. It's an option if you really wanted to, but is it worth the position trainers? In my opinion, probably not. And then in terms of other positions, you've got centre mid, and you can make him a defensive mid as well. Let's just see what auto allocation says the defensive mid. It says no. So not good defensively, not a lot of physical strength, can't pass to save his life. So yeah, as a defensive mid, that's a no. As a centre midfielder, you'll have that box-to-box playing style, both DMF and CMF. If you accept he's not great at defending, make him a very attack-minded centre mid. I mean, no, his passing's still not good enough. Yeah, I think you can forget about centre mid and defensive mid. What about left back? Should we make Zalewski a left back? What's auto allocation going to say? It's going to say behave yourself. I mean, you got the pace, you got some of the attributes, to be fair. I mean, no, let's be honest, he's not great as a left back. Can't defend again, that's the issue, and no defensive skills. I don't think anyone's going to want to do that. Let's just leave and go back to auto allocation to finish up. So, yeah, this isn't a bad card. I feel like I'm kind of sounding a bit negative about it. It's not a great card. It's not one I think will be getting into my team anytime soon, even for the Italian League Challenge, but it does have some of the most important skills for a winger. Box to box is a somewhat uncommon playing style for a wide midfielder. I do quite like it personally, to be honest. They do get up and down a lot. One thing I find with the box to box wide midfielder is they drift inside a bit as well. It's an interesting playing style. They cover a lot of ground. But yeah, like I said a couple of times, it's just one of these cards where yes, he's got qualities. Certainly with the pace, you can shuffle a few points from the pace and beef him up in one or two other areas a little bit. But you just can't quite get all the attributes quite where you want them to. So it's not a bad card. Could be a handy one. I think primarily he is best on the left flank. I don't think he's particularly great in any position really apart from left wing. But as a left winger, either left midfield as a box to box or as a left wing forward without an active playing style, he does have some qualities. He's got some decent skills. Could be a handy one for that Italian League Challenge, but it's not one that really excites me. And from a left mid to a right mid, we have got Francisco Conceição. So face scan, roaming flank. I like that playing style a lot. It's one of my favourite playing styles for a winger. Right mid or right wing forward, you can position train it for the left if you want to. I've done that with mine. Only standard form, he's a lefty. Skill wise, decent selection here. Have they added through passing? I'm not sure he's already got that. Got long range curler though, pinpoint crossing. I think Zalewski had all those three important ones to have in a wide man. Got sole control of his skill moves there. This guy is a dribbler, outside curler, gamesmanship. Yeah, so on the whole, pretty nice selection of skills for a wide man. Let's jump over to the hub and train him up. So yeah, this guy is very much a dribbler. If you like dribbling, you like players who are tricky and good on the ball, you may well enjoy this guy. Not the first version we've had of Conceição, so we had a player of the week card. That was a prolific winger. That one was pretty similar to this one overall. Stats are kind of shuffled around a bit as you'd expect from a player of the week card. We've had a couple of highlight cards previously with Conceição, and they're actually both better than this one. One was one of those kind of green background ones from some kind of legend box. The other one was a nominating contract card from, I don't know how long ago now, like 6 to 12 months ago. A lot of people picked that up. I picked that up, and I love it. It's a very popular card. He's lovely on the ball, super nimble, he's quick, really good at dribbling. So that's what you're going to get from this guy. So even though this card isn't as good as the nominating contract card, as you can see, pace, amazing balance, great on the ball. It's got a little bit of end product, certainly with the passing. The finishing is a bit iffy. We'll see if we can nudge that up a bit. Attack is decent. This is a fun card. The only one real downside with Conceição is that he's unbelievably weak. He's really weak on the ball physically, and that can be a problem in the game. Certainly since not the most recent update, but the one last year, physical contact became a lot more important. It feels sometimes like when you're on the ball with a player who's as physically weak as Conceição is, all the opponent has to do is get to within sneezing distance, and your player just freezes. It's like he's paralyzed with fear, and he just ceases to function on a basic level. It's really frustrating. But yeah, you are gonna notice in those physical duels that he will come out lucky in that department. But outside of that, is there a weakness there? I mean, maybe with the end product a little bit, but really with this guy, you can see what he's all about. He's one of these players you want to get him on the ball. You just want to run at defenders. He's quick, he's tricky, he's got great dribbling. You could shuffle a few points around if you want to get that finishing up. I think that's probably worthwhile. You could leave the dribbling attributes at 90 plus. I'll take one off lower body. You got one on defending. I'll take that as well. Was that 6 points? You could just do that. I think I'd personally just do that. I'm kind of looking at this card and thinking, is this really not as good as the nominating contract one? The overall rating certainly doesn't look like it goes as high, but it still looks like a really nice card. This. Yeah, you get that finish up to 76. You've got long range curler as a left foot on the right wing. With the pace and trickery this guy's got, cutting inside into his left foot, he can get those long range curlers away. The long range curler, I mean, its finishing is decent enough, even if it's not amazing. And he's got through passing as well to compensate for his low pass not being amazing. And then likewise, pinpoint crossing, his lofted pass at 80 isn't too bad. So yeah, this is a really nice card. The end product's not amazing, but you can get by. And certainly outside of that, on the ball, great. Attack awareness, fine. Pace, yep. Balance, yep. Maybe he's lacking a bit of kicking power, I guess. But to me, personally, I think the only thing he's really lacking is the physical strength. This is a nice card, this. If you compare him to his GP card at level 1, it's another one where it's a kind of mixed bag. He's a bit better on the ball, and his GP card's had a bit of a boost there. He's had a big boost to his balance. And they've actually nerfed his defensive attributes compared to his GP card. I think we can live with that, though. That's not important. So, yeah. It's a nice Conceição card. Like I say, I've had a couple of better ones, so might not be the best one. But if you don't have a Conceição card, and if you like his small, nimble, pacey, tricky wingers, this could be a really fun card to pick up. As I mentioned, I've already got him myself. I got the nominated contract one. I love him. He's really, really fun. I've got him trained for the left. I've played him on both wings before, and he's really great on the ball. He's really fun. It's just that physical strength where you get into physical duels with the opponent. More often than not, you come out second best, but if you're good enough at dribbling, that's not going to be an issue because he's so nimble, so manoeuvrable, lovely on the ball. So yeah, as a right winger, certainly that kind of a build, very nice. If you're going to position training for the left, which I've done, I've not used him much on the left, but he's got the ability. With the lofted pass at 80 there, you could even nudge that up a bit higher. He's got pinpoint crossing already. He took a few points back off shooting there. How high can he get his passing realistically? I wouldn't want to lose too much on the ball. If you really want to get his crossing as good as you possibly can, then let's just nick a bit off dexterity, I guess. Yeah, I think 84. I mean, you got up to 12 and passing there. I wouldn't want to go beyond that. I would just do that, I think. And then I think I'll stick a bit back on dribbling. Yeah. I think I'll probably just do that. It's not a massive difference, but you got the lofted up to 84 with pinpoint crossing, curl 82, kicking 80. He's not going to have an amazing cross, but it'll be decent enough. Obviously, you can cross it from both flanks, but if you want to put him on the left as a left footer on the left, like an old school winger, could be effective there. Keep in mind with the roaming flank playing style, he will be out wide a lot, but he will also drift inside. And that's what I like about that playing style. They drift inside, they take up some very interesting positions in central areas, roaming flanks. So he will do that from either flank, whatever flank you play him on. And like I say, it could be a tidy one in my experience. Really fun, nice one to have. So yeah, this looks like a good card to me, and it's an Italian League one as well because he plays for Juve, so you can use him in the Italian League challenge. This looks like it might be certainly one of the more fun cards in this pack, arguably one of the better ones as well. And in terms of other positions you could train him in, before I forget to do that, you can make him a DMF. Is it even worth bothering? Let's just see what it says. Defensive midfielder Conceição. No. Centre midfielder, that's going to be the same. He can't defend. He's physically so weak, but maybe his attacking midfield? That's one possibility. That low pass is iffy. I mean, do they really need to make him that good on the ball? Behave, come on. Let's just take a bunch of points from there. We'll go up to 12 passing. Again, do you want to go higher than 12 in passing? Not really. I think I would just do that. He's got through passing. He'd need one touch pass as well. I think in any position, fighting spirit would be worth giving him. I think I've given mine fighting spirit, actually. I don't remember for sure. I gave him a couple of skills. I think I made mine a super sub, actually. But yeah, even with through passing, and if you gave him one touch pass as well, he's 81, fully boosted, high enough for low pass to play him as an attack midfielder. In my opinion, no. But if you disagree, that's up to you, because he's going to be lovely on the ball. He's got loads of qualities elsewhere. There's some people who train Danielson to play as an attack midfielder and they enjoy using him there. So it's probably a similar situation with this guy. Very similar, actually, because the strengths are the same with Conceição compared to Danielson. Pace and trickery, just no real physical strength, and the end product's a bit lacking. So you might well find that he could be a decent attacking mid, but of course it would take a bunch of position trainers and probably one or two skill trainers as well. But it is a possibility, but I think primarily with this guy, he's going to be a winger. You could make him a left winger, but certainly as a right winger, cutting his side into his left foot with the Robin Fant playing style, taking up some interesting positions. Got a bit of end product there, and he's going to have the pace and the trickery and all of that stuff. He could be a really fun one to use, and in my experience, he absolutely is. So yeah, this could be a pretty nice card if you pick it up. Next up, we have another Italian league card. We've got Raoul Bellanova from Atalanta. So, got a face scan. He's an attacking fullback. He's quite tall for a fullback, 188 centimeters, about 6'2". Only standard form again. He's on B though. He does look like a decent player, Bellanova in real life. Skill wise, it looks like they've added a few. So I think man marking, interception, and fighting spirit are new. So those are very big additions if they are. He's got pinpoint crossing already, cut by and turn, long throw, not the most important skills, but certainly pinpoint crossing is a very good one on attacking fullback. And likewise, those ones they've added there, man marking, interception, fighting spirit, are very important ones for a fullback. So that's great. That's great news. Let's go train him up though. It's not the first version we've had of Bellanova. That's not Bellanova. That's Conceição. Go away, Conceição. We're done with you. There's Bellanova. Bellanova, sorry. Right. Bellanova, yeah, not the first version we've had of him. It is one of the better ones, though. We've had at least one that goes slightly higher in terms of the overall rating, but this one's there or thereabouts. It's one of the better versions of Bellanova. And again, it's a kind of mixed bag compared to his GB card. Some of his technicals down the left are a bit higher than his GB card at level 1. And likewise, his defensive engagement and physical contact. But that's about it. And yeah, it's looking like a fairly solid attacking right back, but those defenses for me are a little bit on the low side. Balance is a little bit iffy, but he's quite a tall guy. You kind of expect that from tall players. Tall players on this game very rarely have good balance. So yeah, as they always do with fullbacks, they've gone crazy on lower body. 97 speed is insane. 94 stamina is fantastic. But if you go down to 8, both those attributes are still good. I personally would do that. I would say you could afford to dip down to maybe about 90 odd for acceleration, but do you want to lose any balance? Not really. I'm going to leave both the lower body and dexterity at 8. We've got 12 points, so you can go 4 higher on defending. I think I would just do that and leave it exactly as it is. I don't think you really need to do much more. If you really want to nudge that low pass at the 80 mark, you could easily just nick a couple off. I mean, you could nick one off dexterity, won't make too much difference. Might be worth doing that. I mean, that 79 tackling is bothering me, but if we get to 80 for tackling, then we're on 79 for defensive awareness as well. Could we spare 6 points from somewhere? I bet we can. I mean, to be honest, yeah. I don't know. If you're really bothered about the defending, oh wait, we're on 12 already for defending, so we can't really. It needs 8 points to get to 80 on all of them. Let's just forget I ever did that. We'll nudge these back up to 80 plus. Where was our last 2 points? Oh, dexterity. There we go. Yeah. You could shuffle 1 or 2 points around this way and that way. I think that's what I'll do personally though. Those defensive attributes still aren't amazing. And that's by shuffling some points onto defending, getting up to 12. So yeah, I think that's worth doing. He's still got the pace, the stamina's fine. Obviously balance is a bit of a concern, but he's got a bit of physical strength about him. Down the left, they're all 80 plus. He's got decent attacking awareness for an attacking fullback as well. So yeah, I think it's a usable attacking right back for the Italian League Challenge. With his height and lack of balance, that he's not going to be the smoothest. And like I say, defensively he's not amazing, but we have increased those defensive attributes to a reasonable level. So yeah, not an amazing right back, but certainly for the Italian League Challenge, I think it's a usable one. You can certainly get away with him. With his height, could you make him a centre back? I don't think you're going to be able to get those defensive attributes high enough. Let's just see what the auto says. Nah, fully boosted, those are not good defensive attributes for centre back, so that's not happening. So we're just left with right midfield as another position. Let's auto allocate first. And take those 2 back off defending there. Is he any good as a right midfielder? It's a bit of a stretch. Is he? Gets lofted past the 90. You just want to mash a load of crosses into the box. Pace, lofted pass, stamina. It's got pinpoint crossing. If that's all you want to do, he could do that, to be fair. He won't have an active playing style right midfield. He's not going to be amazing on the ball. It could be worse. Attacking awareness is iffy. Balance is iffy. Can't shoot to save his life. Won't be much curl on his crosses. There are downsides. But if you really wanted him on the right wing, if you don't fancy him, if he's one of these cards that you're spinning for someone else, you end up getting him, and you really don't fancy him as a right back, and if you put a lot of crosses in, then he could be an option for your right wing. If the crossing is not as important to you, you could just make him better on the ball. So yeah, you could make him a usable right winger. For most people, I imagine he'll be an attacking fullback. As an attacking fullback, I'll just leave him on auto allocation. I don't think he looks that great. You can't make him particularly good defensively. With his height and the balance, not sure how nice he's going to feel on the ball, but there are certainly qualities there. So he could be an option if the Italian League Challenge pops up in any given week and you're really struggling for players at right back and he's got form. He could certainly be an option for you there. It's not a terrible card by any means, but it's not one of the more exciting ones in this pack to me. Now we have the only non-European in this pack. It's interesting. They've been doing separate packs, one for Europe and one for the rest of the world for a while now. And now they've done this one where it's mostly Europe with one South American. It's interesting, but we've got Enzo Fernández. He's got a face scan. He's a box-to-box centre mid who can also play defensive mid, attacking mid, unwavering form, can use me in the English League Challenge. Looking like a pretty solid one so far. And in skill-wise, another midfielder where you got loads when you get him on the ball, passing, a couple of shooting skills, but defensively, not a lot. There's nothing going on defensively there. So if you're going to use this guy as a box-to-box, I would say you definitely need interception. You might want to give him one or two more defensive ones on top of that. As a defensive midfielder, you definitely need to give him a few defensive skills. So defensively, he can do with a few skills there. You can use him as an attacking mid, though, in which case I think he's pretty much fine for skills. But we'll see how good he is in any of those positions on eFootball Hub. And he is, at least as a centre midfielder, decent. Doesn't look amazing to me, but certainly the passing, like with Baturina, the passing is looking fantastic. Interestingly, his GP card, I guess they've changed his GP card since his pack came out, because his GP card is only semi-proficient as an attack midfielder. This one is fully proficient attack midfielder, which is good if you want to play him now. We've had a bunch of Enzo Fernández cards up to this point. His Showtime card is the best one. This card is slightly better overall than his Player of the Week card that he had not too long ago. But not a massive difference, so the stats are shuffled around a bit as you expect with Player of the Week. In terms of his highlight cards, we've had a few highlight cards that are slightly better than this, to be honest. One of them's a Destroyer, interestingly. I don't know when he was a Destroyer, or if they changed him just for that card. But this is still a solid version of Enzo Fernández. Not the best, but a solid one. It's another one with a fairly mixed kind of boost compared to his GP card at level 1. The attributes boosted the most are just speed, really. It's the only one that stands out. Not the most important one on the centre fielder, but I'll take it. And yeah, he's looking pretty solid as a solid centre fielder. Like I say, the passing's fantastic. Do you need the passing that high? Because you could do with a few points elsewhere. I'd like a bit more balance on him. I'd like a bit more attacking awareness. Both of those come under dexterity. We're only up to 4 on dexterity, so for me, I would immediately take 4 off passing there. Leave him on 90 and 91. I think the passing would be just fine there. Go up to 8 at least for dexterity. We've got 4 points left. I'll go 9 and get +2 on acceleration. Might as well. But I quite like a bit more on defensive as well, on the defending attributes. So yeah, I think I'll take 1 back from dexterity, and then we can go +2 defending. And then we just need 2 points to go up to 80+ on all those defending attributes. Can we nick 2 points from somewhere? Not really. I'll take another 2 off dexterity, actually. I think that's worth it. I can live with the attacking awareness being 74, to be honest, just about. Yeah, I think I'll do that. He's fairly tidy on the ball. Nice passing. The attack awareness isn't brilliant, nor's the finishing, but defensively we're at least 80+ in all those. 90 aggression. Pace is decent on centre mid, bit of kicking power, a little bit of physical strength. I would like more, but it could be worse. He's at least past 80 for balance now. Stamina's 90, that's pretty much where you need it. yeah, looking pretty solid as a centre midfielder. I would like I say, I would like a bit more attacking awareness and finishing. I'd like a few attributes to be a little bit higher, but he's got most of the skills you need for a centre mid. Interception is the one skill I think he's really lacking. Outside curler would be a nice one as well. He's not overly two-footed, so yeah, I think outside curler and interception for me are the two skills you would need as a centre mid. But he looks pretty solid, very usable. English League challenge can be a very handy one. Defensive midfield, let's go to auto allocation first. Maybe as a real out and out defensive midfielder protecting a defense, I don't know. In some kind of double pivot, yeah, maybes. He's not as good on the ball now, but he could be worse for a defensive mid. He can get away with that. Passing still pretty decent. Defensively, at least well into the 80s in all of these, so he's decent defensively. But again, there are no defensive skills there. You would need to give him a bunch of defensive skills. Although apparently he has goalkeeper hype, which is great. eFootball Hub is still playing up a bit. When you're looking at players in eFootball Hub at the moment, do compare to the player in game. Make sure you check in game because there are one or two dodgy skills on a lot of players. But yeah, he does need all the defensive skills if you're going to play him as a defensive midfielder. And again, physical strength, it's a little bit lacking as a defensive midfielder, so I'm not sure I fancy this card as a DMF. Not for me. In a double pivot, maybe. And he will have to, his box-to-box playing style will be active at DMF as well, but as I found when I did that video recently, even as a box-to-box from DMF, they don't get forward much at all. It's quite rare they make those attacking runs. So yeah, could do a job as a DMF for you, but I don't really fancy him now. I think as a CMF, he's going to be a lot more effective. Attack midfield, he's fully proficient at attack midfield, so should we take all those points from defending and aerial? Yes. Can we make him a good attacking mid? Need a load more dexterity, don't we? Not as good as I thought it'd be, to be honest. On the ball, yeah. Passing, yeah. Finishing, no. Finishing is not great. Attacking awareness, not brilliant. Balance, yeah, balance is okay. To be honest, everything down the right's okay. It's just the awareness and the finishing a bit lacking there. He does have good skills for an attacking midfielder. He could maybe do with giving long range shooting, but he's got long range curler and first time shot. He's got the passing skills. Yeah, he could be decent as an attacking mid, but like I say, I personally would like a bit more awareness and finishing. So he could do better. Yeah, to be honest, looking at all the positions for on this card, he's not a bad card. Of course, he's got a lot of strengths, but I don't think he's that amazing anyway, really. I think he's definitely best as a centre mid. As a centre mid, I mean, that's just the auto allocation. Obviously, I shuffle those points around. He could be very capable there. He's going to have very nice passing. Not a bad card at all. Just one or two areas I'd like him to be a bit stronger. As a wide midfielder, can we make him a wide midfielder? We need some pace if we're doing that. If we start as a right mid, take the defending, points off defending. I don't think I'd do much more than that as a right mid. Has he got crossing? No. So you need to give him pinpoint crossing for right mid as a right footer. You can give him reasonable pace, decent on the ball. If you gave him pinpoint crossing, lofted 91's fantastic. Not a lot of curl though. He does have decent kicking power, so it could be a right wing option of ping a few crosses in. Is that what you want to do with Enzo Fernández? I don't think it is. I don't think many people want to do that. I'm not sure I'd recommend doing that. Left midfield, if you're going to be cutting inside and maybe he's getting some curls away, he's got long range curler. Passing not so important. Give him a bit more shooting, he needs that. Even if you go up to 6 on shooting there, 72 finishing. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure wide midfield is really what's best for this guy. I think I'll just leave him on auto allocation. I think centre mid is where you want to use him. Could definitely do a job as an attacker mid. Could maybe do a job in some kind of double pivot as a DMF. But I think the best way to use this Enzo Fernández card to get the most out of him will be centre midfield. I would kind of shuffle a few points around like I did, beef up the defending. Maybe he's getting a bit more dexterity. But he's going to have nice passing. He's got the passing skills, a couple of shooting skills. Could be a very solid one to have for the English League Challenge. It's a good card, this. Like I say, though, I think wherever you use him, there's one or two areas where I feel like he's a little bit lacking. But he's definitely got qualities, especially with his passing. So could well be a very handy centre midfield option to pick up for your English League Challenge at least. Next we have our goalkeeper. We've got Bart Verbruggen, plays for Brighton. We have a face scan. Decent height, 6'4", I think that is. Only standard form. He's got a low punt, only one skill, but low punt's probably the most popular goalkeeper skill. Let's go train him up on eFootball Hub. This is not the first Verbruggen card we've had. We've had one in a fairly recent Netherlands pack. There was a pack with, you know, one of those ones with a manager and 11 players in it. This is slightly better than that one from the Dutch pack, but that's partly because the distribution is a lot higher in this one. It's low enough to pass a lot higher. Outside of that, in terms of the goalkeeping, not a massive difference really. He's slightly better than his Player of the Week card that was, I think that was from a game against Newcastle, maybe it was a year or so ago. But again, not a massive difference there. Interestingly, compared to his GB card, boosted on the ball, low pass, especially his lofted pass, had a really nice boost, and his parrying. So yeah, some interesting attributes boosted there on his Verbruggen card. It's a solid one. The arm coverage is decent. 175.8, that's decent arm coverage. So reach is looking good, and his reach attribute is good as well at 93. This actually looks like a pretty solid goalie card, actually, to be honest. So yeah, 1 point of pass. I'm just going to nick that initially. I'm going to take those 4 off aerial as well, because Player of the Week has taught us that goalkeepers don't need to be able to jump. Can we get that 89 up to 90? Yes. You could do that if you want to get as many goalie attributes to 90 plus as you possibly can. If you were going to look at his arm coverage and say that 175.8 is enough for his arm coverage already, you could take some away from his reach. Maybe if you take a couple from there. We're already up to 12 in goalkeeper 1. I don't think it's sufficient to go beyond that, but could maybe focus more on his reflexes. And that takes his catching up a bit. His catching is a little bit on the low side. It looks like you're going to end up with 2 spare points for whatever you do. I personally like to put him on distribution. You might prefer to put on jumping. I'll put him on jumping. I think most people probably prefer that. I like him on distribution personally, but yeah, I'd be tempted to do that. I'm not sure what's better, to be honest. I mean, 94 reflexes is excellent. It's really good. The awareness is good. Reach is good, especially with his arm coverage. Parrying's decent. Catching's not amazing, but it's not a disaster. But yeah, whether you do it that way or whether you do it, what was the auto allocation doing? Hang on, I'm just going to do what I initially did, because we had 4. Yeah, I did that initially, didn't I? Yeah, whether you do what I did just before or whether you do that and get as many attributes to 90 plus as you can. I mean, 94 reach with his arm coverage. He's going to have fantastic coverage of his goal. This is a solid keeper, actually. I didn't realize he'd be this good. I figured he was going to be decent, but I didn't think he'd be quite this good. It's not an amazing keeper. It's not a top level keeper, but for me, for a highlight card in a pack like this, I think this is a good one. For the English League Challenge, it could be a really solid option to pick up for a goalkeeper option. And yeah, I don't see any major weakness really, apart from the catching, which is a little bit iffy. But if that's the only weakness, I think it's a solid looking keeper. And that lofted pass of 70 is actually quite high for a keeper as well. So yeah, I think there's a lot to be said for this card. The catching might not be brilliant, but however you shuffle those points around, he's looking pretty solid. Good coverage, good stats. At least for the English League Challenge, a very good goalkeeper option. But even outside of the English League Challenge, if you're a free-to-play player, or you don't have too many kind of, you know, double booster legend type goalkeepers and so on, even outside of the English League Challenge, this to me is like a pretty solid goalkeeper. And another English League card next. Seems like we've had a bunch of Italian League and now a bunch of English League. So we've got Marc Guéhi from Crystal Palace, just about. He was almost a Liverpool player. So he's got his face scan. He's an extra front man. That doesn't seem to do much these days, but he is an extra front man. He's got unwavering form. Not the tallest centre back, 182 centimeters. So he's about, I think that's 5'11". That's a bit of a concern. So he's not the tallest centre back. He does have air superiority at least. What have we got here? So we've got air superiority. We've not got heading though. Oof, heading 67. So he's not going to be great at winning headers with that height, at least. And his heading is, when he does win the headers, his heading's pretty bad as well. That's a bit of a concern. And no heading skill. But he does have air superiority at least, so that'll make him a bit stronger in the air. And then man marking, insertion, no blocker. We're lacking blocker. Sliding, acrobatic, gampsy, fighting experience. So yeah, all we're really lacking is blocker. And you could argue that heading's an important one, but with his heading attribute being so low anyway, is heading going to make that much difference as a skill? I'm not sure it's worth faffing around wasting loads of skill trainers, but you could well do with giving him heading, but certainly blocker is the one skill that he really needs. That's the one skill he needs defensively as a centre back. But let's train up and see how good he actually is. And he is pretty decent, to be fair. So down the middle there, he's looking really strong. He's got fantastic defensive attributes. Again, I don't know why they do this. It just feels like the way they allocate points when you do the auto allocation just isn't really as efficient as it could be. That last increase in defending is 4 points. Is it really worth 4 points to go one higher in all his attributes when they're so high already? For me personally, it's not. To be honest, personally, I would put 3 of those points on aerial, and then 1 point spare. I would take 2 away from dexterity. Just leave it at the 80 mark. And then put 1 more in aerial. And not only are you going to get +1 from physical contact up to 90, but you're going to get +2 on jumping. On a defender who's not the tallest. So, yeah. I think straight away that's what I'd do. To be honest, you could take even more points off his defending there. You go right down to 9. They're still all 90 plus. You could then beef him up even more with his aerial. Make him stronger in the air there. Even if you do that, guys, jumping all the way up to the 90 mark, you're still only at 271 for jumping height, which is not good for a centre-back. So you might say it's not really worthwhile. If he's not great in the air, he's not great in the air. In which case, take those points back. Stick him back in defending. Still got 3 left, actually. Yeah, I think, to be honest, that's the way I would build this Guéhi card. It looks pretty solid. It's not the first Guéhi card we've had. We've had a Player of the Week. I think I've got that one. It was a build-up, and it had a booster as well. Pretty similar overall when they're boosted, to be honest, but 1 and 2 of the important attributes are a little bit higher on this card. So even when that card's fully boosted, I think this one's a little bit better. And we've had a couple of highlight cards which have the extra frontman playing style, but again, this one's slightly better. So this is a good Guéhi card. Once again, a kind of mixed boost from his GP card. His pace and balance have had a decent boost. He's had a reasonable boost on his defensive attributes. Yeah, this is a pretty good Guéhi card. This is a solid centre back. The pace is decent for a centre back. Physically and aerially, we've beefed him up a little bit there. He's fine physically. It's just that obviously aerially there's a concern with the lack of height. Defensively, though, down the middle, as you can see, very strong. And down the left, on the ball, pretty average for centre-back. The passing, at least, you're going past the 70 mark, low and lofted. Yeah, it's just really the aerial's the only real concern with this guy is aerial. If your opponent's got big, tall strikers, he's mashing a lot of crosses into the box, you're going to have a problem with this guy. No two ways about it. But if your opponent's not putting a lot of crosses into the box, this guy looks like a really solid centre-back. He does need the blocker skill, although apparently he doesn't need Marseille turn or goalkeeper high punt. That's a lie from eFootball Hub. Yeah, blocker. Really needs blocker. Apart from blocker, he's pretty well equipped. I'll give him blocker. Maybe stick a couple of passing skills on. Maybe give him heading if you think it's going to make much difference. But all in all, what you got right there, I think, is a solid, really solid centre-back for the English League Challenge. It's just got to be wary of the aerial thing. It's just another one where, like a lot of people do, and like I do, I would keep a big, tall centre-back on the bench just in case your opponent's going to be one of those types. But if that's not what you're up against, I think in all other scenarios, what you got there is a very solid centre-back. And another English League card next, albeit he is now back in Italy with Napoli, but again, this pack's been out for a while now, so this is an English League card from when he's at Man U. We've got Rasmus Højlund, the goal poacher, got a face scan, only standard form. Skill-wise, pretty decent selection. I think the only one we could really do is a long-range curler. Possibly heading an aerial. We'll see how well he trains up because he is a big physical boy, but we'll see what the stats are looking like. But certainly on the deck. First time shot, long range shooting, and acrobatic. Well, that's not on the deck, is it? But acrobatic is always a good one to have in a striker. Heel trick's handy. Yeah, got decent selection skills there. But like I said, I think long range curler is the one I'd definitely look to give him. Maybe he's outside curler as well. And yeah, we'll see how good he is in the air in eFootball Hub, but maybe he's heading an aerial superiority. So to eFootball Hub we go. And how good is he? Well, the first thing that stands out, 2 things that stand out. Firstly, his finishing is not great at 85. And secondly, the question of whether it's worth giving him heading and aerial. 68 jumping is not great. Vertical reach, 264.9. Yeah, I don't think it's really worth it. He's not going to be particularly strong in the air. But yeah, the one real concern with this card, that finishing. So just to quickly compare him to his other verses we've had a lot of Højlund cards, obviously, at this point. He's had a Player of the Week card. This is actually a bit better than his Player of the Week card. In terms of his highlight cards, this is pretty much on par with the better highlight cards. It's around about the same level as his highlight cards, his best highlight cards have been. So it's a good solid version of Højlund. Looks like they've decreased his weaker foot usage, but increased the accuracy. So that's probably a good thing. And then compared to his GP card, another mixed bag really, but he's better on the ball than his GP card. Looks like his defensive engagement's better as well. Fantastic. Just look at his skills actually. It looks like maybe his long range shooting is new and possibly track back and fighting spirit. Have they added a few skills here? Quite interesting if they have. But yeah, like I said with the skills, I don't think it's really worth trying to make him better in the air. He's not going to be particularly great in the air, whatever you do. But I think long range curler and maybe his outside curler, the 2 skills I would look to give him. But yeah, the one concern with his Højlund card, that finishing is not great. Fully boosted 85, I want more points there. So What can we do? He's not got great balance, but it's not going to be great anyways. We're going to nick at least one off dexterity, leave him at 90 attacking awareness. What else are we going to do? There's not a lot of points we can spare. Let's just see. 89. Can we? Is there 3 more points for us somewhere? Maybe just nick a few off dribbling. He's not going to be great on the ball anyways. Is it worth doing? For me personally, yeah, I think so. He's a goal poacher. Obviously, through passing at the moment is pretty OP. I imagine that's going to get nerfed at some point because everyone seems to be spamming through passing. It's just destroying centre-backs at the moment. So yeah, right now, the way the game is, for a goal poacher, that pace, got great acceleration. The awareness at 90, the finishing at 90. He's not great on the ball, but he's a big, physical, strong boy with poor balance. He's not going to feel great on the ball regardless. He does have that bit of physical strength about him. Got good kicking power behind his shots. I always say it, kicking power does really help with shooting. I do like having a lot of kicking power on a striker. I think that's a solid Højlund card, to be honest. Obviously, we've nerfed him a bit on the ball there, but and taken a bit away from his physical strength, but I think it's worth it. I think for a goal poacher, he's looking pretty solid. I think for the English Street Challenge, you could do a lot worse for a centre forward. The passing is not great on the ball. Apart from that, though, awareness, finishing, kicking power behind his shots as well. Good pace. I think it could be a useful one. I've got a Højlund card myself from I think it's from a Premier League pack about a year or two ago. It's not one of my favourite strikers to the English League Challenge, but I have used him a few times when he's had form. He's been decent for me. As I've said with this one, not brilliant on the ball, but he's got that physical strength. He's got a bit of pace and he can take chances. So yeah, I imagine it'll be the same story with this guy. Look at the attributes. Not going to be an amazing one for many people. For Man U fans, could be a very handy one. But for anyone who for the English League Challenge, if he gets form, he could definitely do a job for you. Sure, you might like it to be a little bit better in one or two areas, but in the most important areas for a goal poacher, I think it's pretty handy. You could do a lot worse than picking him up. So next we move on to Jamal Musiala, who plays for München RW. So that's FC Bayern these days. Obviously, they're not a partner club anymore. Got a pace scan, creative playmaker, attacking mid, only stay on form. Skill-wise, it's the usual Musiala situation, certainly with highlight versions of him. We don't have through passing. That's the one thing we're really missing. It's not as important if you're going to play him wide left, but even wide left, I'd like to have through passing, but especially through the middle. If you're going to play him as an attacking midfielder, through passing, very, very, very important skill to give him. Apart from that, though, got a few nice skills on the ball. A few skill moves, soul control, long range curler, first time shot. He's got one touch pass at least, and a super sub as well. So yeah, good selection skills, but he does need through passing. But as we're going to find out on eFootball Hub, this is a rather nice version of Jamal Musiala. So as you can see, on the ball, he's absolutely insane. Passing is great. Finishing and attacking awareness are decent. Not got amazing speed, but he's got fantastic acceleration, good balance. Yeah, it's a good version of Musiala. We've had a fair few versions. We're not going to get as many versions from now on because he's obviously because FC Bayern are no longer a partner club. So I'm not sure it's necessarily one of the last versions we're going to get. Certainly from kind of Germany packs, international player of the week, stuff like that. There will be more versions of him in the future, albeit he's got a bad injury at the moment. But yeah, they're not going to be as frequent, certainly for the time being. And this is a good version of Musiala. It's pretty similar in terms of overall ability to his best player of the week cards. He's had a lot of player of the week cards. He's had a goal poacher centre forward version. He's had other playing styles, playmaker. What else he had? Whole player, I think, at some point. He's had a lot of player of the week cards with different kind of positions and roles and stuff. But in terms of overall ability, this one ranks up there alongside the better player of the week cards that he's had. In terms of trainable versions, we've had a Showtime and a Legend version of Musiala. Obviously, those are the best two versions we've had of him, so we can't compete with them on this card. But comparing to his other highlight cards, this is up there with the best. To be honest, this is a really good highlight version of Musiala. It's about as good as we've had. It's a good Musiala card. The boost he's had from his GP guard, the biggest boost really is physical contact, to be honest. That's not really the most important thing, but it's nice to have a boost there. And it's a really good version of Musiala, this. Like I say, the one real thing that you really need to do is give him through passing, but apart from that, look at these attributes, especially on the ball. He's going to be really nice. So let's start by looking at him as an attack midfielder. Is there anything we really need to boost? I think, to be honest, the one thing that would be nice to boost would be the speed. So if we take a few dribbling there, you're not going to really miss those points, are you? You can go up to 8 on lower body. I think I'll just do that, to be honest. Leave it as is. I mean, we've got 1 point in defending, but I think I'll just shuffle that straight over to aerial. Oh, we have 2 points, did we? Got 2 points spare. Hello. Stick my shooting then. Yeah. That's a nice card, to be honest. Attack midfielder. got a bit of pace about him now. He already had the acceleration, but we've got the speed now as well, which is decent at 88 for an attacking mid. He's not got amazing kicking power behind his shots, but he could be worse. He's not the strongest physically, but that has been boosted. He's got good balance on the ball. We've nicked a few points from there, but he's still fantastic on the ball. Low pass at 93. Do you need it that high? I mean, some people would say yes. I would say you don't need it that high, but where else do you need to put points? Nowhere really. I mean, if you wanted to, you could take three off his passing and get his speed up to 90. That could be pretty nice. Yeah, tackle and finishing are decent, and he's got a decent selection of skills, just through passing really. But if you give him through passing as an attacking midfielder, really nice, really nice. It's a really good card. This as an SS, I wouldn't do much different, to be honest. I don't think it's really worthwhile doing much different to that. He's going to be the same either AMF or SS. You're going to get him on the ball. He's going to be lovely on the ball. If you give him the through passing skill, he's going to be able to pick a pass very nicely, and he gets into positions to get a shot away. He's got a long range curler on first time shot. I would give him long range shooting as well. He'll have a decent shot on him. And yeah, it looks very nice as a kind of number 10. In terms of other positions, centre midfielder, I always say the same thing. When you got a player like this who's so attacking, I don't know why you would use him as a centre midfielder. You're going to need one or two midfielders behind him and alongside him doing the defensive work for him, no matter what role you give him. So if you're going to do that, you're going to have the protection behind him regardless, so you might as well push him further forward as an attacking midfielder, which is where he should be, or certainly where he will be a lot better than centre midfield. He can't defend, he's not physically strong, so CMF and DMF off the menu for me. As a wide man, let's start with wide right first. So as a right foot on the right hand side, could you make him a bit of a cross merchant? I'm not sure that's what many people would really want to do with Jamal Musiala, but let's just see. You could nick a point or two from elsewhere, I guess. You could nick some with dribbling, actually. Is it really worth doing that? No, probably not. Maybe, I don't know. If you gave him pinpoint crossing, pace is fine, bit of kicking power, step balance is good, he's still been good in the ball. We nicked a few points off there. Low pass is insane, but the important one for a right foot on the right hand side is going to be a lofted pass. 84 with pinpoint crossing, not a great deal of curl, reasonable kicking power. His crossing will be alright. It won't be amazing, it'll be decent. Is it worth doing? Do you really want to play Musiala as a right winger? I'm not sure many people would, but certainly if you did train him something like that, you can get that lofted pass up into the mid-80s, and with pinpoint crossing, he could well be a very decent, a very usable option on the right wing. Certainly could be good there, but I'm not sure that's what most people want to do with a Musiala card. I think most people want to use him either as an attacking mid or SS, like we just trained him initially, or wide left. So wide left, passing doesn't matter quite so much wide left. But finishing, we can get up to 85 finishing. Is that worth doing? We'll leave finishing on 84 and we'll get a bit more back on the ball attributes there. That to me looks like a really nice left winger. I mean, you could take all those points off passing there, to be honest, get his finishing even higher. Is it worth it? I think it's probably more efficient to leave his passing like that. Got the pace. He's going to be lovely on the ball. Attacking awareness, finishing is decent. He can pass the ball really well for a wide man. Good balance, yeah. Wide left. I would still give him through passing, but he's already got long range curl and first time shot, so working your way into a shooting position from that left wing, whether it's by getting him on the ball and dribbling into the area, or just into good positions around the area, or whether it's just picking him up when he makes an attacking run, which he won't do too often as a creative playmaker. Do keep that in mind. It's not the playing style for everyone. I always say it. It's just my personal preference, but I do not like the creative playmaker playing style on wingers. They're not aggressive enough with their forward runs. But that's just my personal preference. If it works for you, I think he could be brilliant from the left wing. He's got loads of great qualities. He's going to feel great on the ball, and he's got some end product on top of that. So yeah, wide left or through the middle could be really good. You could use him on the right as well, as I just showed you. But I think for most people, either an attacking midfielder or wide left. Creative playmaker playing style will be active left mid, right mid, left wing forward, right wing forward, SS attacking midfield. So in all the positions he's best in, he will be a creative playmaker, but primarily left or through the middle. If you give him through passing, and I'll give him fighting spirit as well. Actually, is he not got outside curler? I just noticed that, or heel trick. Okay, so hang on, skill wise then, through passing, fighting spirit, outside curler, heel trick, long range shooting. I think I just off the top of my head, those are the 5 skills I think I'd look to give him. Through passing, the important one though, but yeah, through the middle, wide left. It's not one you can use in the league challenge, but this is a card that's clearly good enough to be considered just for like any squad, for divisions and so on. And it's a really good one. It's one of the better versions we've had of Musiala. If you got one of either the Showtime or the Legend one, You obviously don't need this one. You're probably not going to be watching at this point anyway, because you're not going to be interested in this card. But otherwise, it's just about as good as any Musiala card we've had. So if you've not got a good one, it could be a really nice card to pick up. If you do have a good one, you might not necessarily need it. But yeah, it's a good Musiala card. Just needs 1 or 2 skills. But if you give 1 or 2 skills, could be a really, really, really nice card to pick up. And finally, we have William Saliba. So, face scan, build-up centre-back from Arsenal. So, it's another English league card. Unwavering form. Skill-wise, so we are lacking 1 or 2 here. What have we got? We've got heading and aerial, and then we've got man marking, section block, acrobatics. So, the ones we're missing, fighting spirit and sliding tackle. For a centre-back, those are the 2 skills he's lacking. You can certainly survive without sliding tackle. Fighting spirit, I do think, is very important. We've got weighted pass, so nice bonus on the centre back. But yeah, sliding tackle and fighting spirit, I would certainly look to put those on, especially fighting spirit. Apart from that, though, pretty well equipped. But question is, how good is this Saliba card? So getting all trained up, all maxed out. As you can see, pretty good. Again, it's another card where we've had a lot of versions of Saliba. We had an old Player of the Week card ages ago, which is surprisingly bad, actually. This is comfortably better than this Player of the Week card. He's had a Showtime card. It's obviously the best version we've had of Saliba so far. But a couple of highlights that are a bit better than this one overall, to be honest. So this isn't the best one. One of those 2 is the one that's in the current PFA Team of the Year, Player of the Year pack, whatever it's called. But this is still a solid version. It's one of the better ones, even if it's not the best. But one thing that's worth pointing out, though, is that compared to his GP card, his jumping has had a nice boost, and he's actually got significantly better jumping than both of those 2 highlight cards that are high rated than this one. So maybe overall those 2 highlight cards, previously one was from some kind of legend pack, and the other one, like I say, is the one in the PFA pack. Maybe they're slightly better overall than this one, but this one does have better jumping, and jumping is the one weakness that Saliba always has, albeit his heading's pretty pants as well. So yeah, that jumping might be a bit of an equaliser on this card. So yeah, it is a good version. And to be honest, if you look at the vertical reach, the difference that makes is roughly 5 centimeters compared to those 2 other versions of Saliba, just in case you're wondering. So 5 centimeters difference in vertical reach could be quite significant. But yeah, looking at his stats, they've only boosted about half his stats from his GP card. He's got a bit less on his low pass, to be honest, but it's still high enough for a centre-back. Less on his heading as well. They've nerfed that bit. That's interesting. But yeah, jumping's had a nice boost. So that's the one attribute that stands out compared to his GP card. That's quite a bit higher. And as you can see, down the middle there, defensively he's really strong. Down the left, he's fine for a centre-back. Tight possession is really nice for a centre-back, actually. Pace is pretty decent for a centre-back. The jumping is better than it normally is for Saliba. Physical contact's pretty much on the money. Stamina decent. Yeah, could do with the 1 or 2 skills maybe, but on the whole, you've got a nice centre-back card. It's a very strong centre-back card, and he's not as weak as he normally is with his jumping. So yeah, he's looking pretty good. One thing that I've just noticed, it's with another one of these cards where with auto allocation they've not been efficient. Going up to 30 on defending, it's just not efficient, because that last increase after 12 is 4 points. Is that really worth doing? I don't think so. With those 4 points, you can go 1 higher on aerial, or you could go 2 higher on dexterity. Actually, that looks nicer, doesn't it? Get the acceleration up to 80. Lovely jubbly. Yeah, there's a few things you can do. You've definitely got some points you could spare. If you still feel like the jumping is a bit of a concern, I mean, the jumping height is pretty much fine for me, 277.8, but if you want to really beef them up in the air, if you are concerned about your opponents putting a lot of cross into the box, cross spamming and so on, you could take a bunch off dexterity. You can take all 4 off lower body, to be honest. You're still over 80 for speed. You could quite easily, you're not far off getting 90 for jumping. Can you take 2 more points from somewhere? You could, if you really wanted to, go all the way up to 4 on goalkeeper 1. You can get his jumping up to 282.4. That's actually good. That's not just better than it normally is for Saliba. That's good. That's really good. So he's going to be really strong in the air. You've still got really strong defensive attributes down the middle. The pace is still fine for a centre-back. Getting that jumping as high as it is, yeah, you could make him actually pretty strong in the air for a centre-back. So if you wanted to do a build on Saliba to make him good in that area, you actually could. You can make him much better in there than you normally can. If you're not too bothered about that, then obviously you don't have to do that. We take this point straight back, leave the area at 8, and you can just, like as I showed you just now, you can get his acceleration up to 80. I think, to be honest, most people would probably prefer to do that. But there's a couple of things you can do with the Saliba card. And it's a really strong one. It's a really strong centre-back card. For the English League Challenge, can be absolutely fantastic. But even outside of that, it's a strong centre-back card. And like I say, it might not be the highest rated Saliba card we've had. Certainly, the Showtime card is the best, but even compared to the 2 highlight cards that go a bit higher rated than this, we got the better jumping on this one. So it's kind of taken away the one weakness that he normally has. So yeah, whatever way you look at it, that is a good, strong centre-back card. It's a very good version of Saliba. So there's your national players worldwide team pack selection thingy, but whatever it's called. As is usually the case with these, it's a decent one. You know, you've got a few cards in there. These are ordered by overrank, so there's a few towards the right which maybe aren't so great. I don't think Bellanova's too great. Baturina's not amazing. I do think he looks like he could be fairly tidy, to be fair. Kılıçsoy is actually a bit better than I expected. I think as a goal poacher, he could be a tidy one, could be a pretty effective one. Zalewski, nah, he's not a bad card. It's not an amazing one. He could certainly do a job for you. Conceição could be a lot of fun. He's small, nimble, he's got the pace and trickery. I think in the right hands, if that's the kind of winger that you like using, it could be a really fun one to have. Verbruggen, that's a strong goalkeeper for me. That's a good, solid goalkeeper, especially for the English League change. But just in general, I think it could definitely be a pretty nice addition for a lot of people to your goalkeeping ranks. Enzo Fernández, solid centre mid. Højlund, similar to Kılıçsoy, you got a solid centre forward goal poacher really. Could be handy one for the English League challenge. Guéhi, it's a good version of Guéhi, solid centre back. Likewise, Saliba, that's a good centre-back card and a good version of Saliba. And then Musiala, you know every Musiala card is going to be good, but that's a good Musiala card. It's one of the better ones. So, yeah, it's a mixed bag as always with these packs, but there are some good ones in there. Just depends on, you know, what tickles your fancy, what versions you've already got of some of these players. But yeah, for a fair few people, could be some decent ones in there. So I imagine at this point, a fair few have probably already spun it. So if you have spun it and tried these players out, let me know in the comments what you've, you know, how you found these players to be. If you've been pleased with any of these players, or if any of them disappointed you, and just let me know your thoughts in general on the pack, regardless of whether you spun it. Be interested to know your thoughts. Hopefully, I've helped you to make your decision about whether you're going to have a last-minute spin on it. For me personally, there's no one in there that I really need, to be honest. But I do think it's a bit better than I realised it was, to be honest. Now that I've finally looked at it, I think it's a decent enough pack. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. But hopefully you found this useful either way. Thank you for watching as always. Much appreciated. I'll be live streaming at some point soon. Otherwise, there'll be 1 or 2 videos hopefully come up as well. So if you're not in the Discord, jump in the Discord. And I'll be seeing you next time. Take it easy. Thanks for watching. Bye.